Give me just a second, guys. Just a second. Go back to Messenger. All right, guys. Glad you guys could tune in today. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to talk about how to pack bearings and hubs, because what I had a brake assembly go bad on one of my trailers, and first off, I had to adjust the brakes up because the brakes quit working on one of my trailers. And then when I got to this particular wheel, I noticed that we had grease basically blew out and filled the inside of my drum. So that greatly affects your ability to stop when you are working on, when you're using your stuff to work. All right, there we go. All right, so this is what I was talking about inside the drum. You can see all inside there where the grease had accumulated, and on the center where that seal is, where that grease had blew out. And you don't want that. That's not a good thing. And this is what the brake assembly looked like when I opened it up. As you can see, all the brake or the grease is caked on around all the brake shoes and everything else. And that's not a good thing. This is a brand new brake drum. As you can see, there's no grease in there or anything. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to go over how to pack the bearings with grease and how to put those back together. So what I've been using is just SuperTech multi-duty complex grease. You can get it from Walmart for like $5. It's not super expensive. It's relatively cheap and works pretty well. So this is the inner bearing, smaller bearing. We have the grease cap. Whenever you buy one of these kits from Redneck, they come with everything. We got a new seal. The hard drive's magnetized. All right, so what I like to start with is the outer seal, the inner bearing, which goes in the back side and it'll just fall in just like that. All right, and what you want to do is get you a clump of grease in your hand like that. You'll grab your bearing with 2 fingers, just like this right here, and you see how you'll get you a clump on the side right there, and you'll just press it against your hand, and you'll be able to gradually start to see the grease working its way into the bearing. I'll show you guys in just a second. You can see the grease squirting out. That's when you know it's all the way through, and you just work your way around the bearing in this fashion. All right. I invited some guests to come on the show tonight. I don't know if they're gonna. I think Jeff was kind of busy. I invited Jeff Hill, owner of Singing River Transport, to come on and kind of give us a little bit of his view on the trucking industry while I'm sitting here packing these bearings with grease, because I know it takes a minute to do this. It's kind of monotonous to sit here and watch me do it. I also invited Ryan Alexander of Ghost Music to come on and kind of give his. He owns, well, Ghost Music or Ghost Stick or something like that, and he also owns Alexander Remodeling. They do like contracted work on houses and crap like that. So it ain't too awful bad. I think they're about like us in the winter. They slow down and just kind of take it as it goes. All right, so there we go. We got grease all the way in there, and once you get it in there, you'll want to just kind of try to spin that bearing a little bit to get that grease. Yeah. There it is. Try to get it worked in there. There we go. All right. Take that bearing, just drop it down in this hole. All right. And go ahead and get this smaller bearing. We're going to go ahead and pack it while I got my greasy hands covered up. This little bearing shouldn't take too bad long. All right. Now, there's often a debate about what's better, grease packed bearings or oil bath. That's kind of why I was wanting Jeff to come on here, because he's a huge advocate of oil bath axles, and I'm his grease packed counterpart. I am 110% for the grease packed axles. All right, so after this, you'll want to take the gloves off for a moment. You'll go through quite a few pairs of these gloves while you're doing this. All right. So as you notice, I've already got the bearing inside that drum. Take the seal and just kind of set it right in there. And what you want to do is you want to take something and just tap it in there. Just tap it in there. Something a little heavier than that. Now, you don't want to beat the snot out of it, because you'll fuck up your bearing, or not your bearing, your seal. But you want to tap it in there. Make sure it's nice and flush with the inside of that hub. All right, hang on. Let me get my paper towel. All right, you're going to go through a lot of paper towels and a lot of these rubber gloves. All right, let's see here. If I can go over here to the comments. All right. Oh, 3 of you guys have been plowed in here. You guys got any questions, just put them in the comments. We'll get right to you. All right. Right here, you can see what I was talking about, where we put that seal in there and we tapped it in there nice and flush. Now, notice I said we tapped it in there. We didn't beat the fuck out of it. And if you beat the fuck out of it, you're going to fuck up seal, and then you're going to have bigger problems down the road. All right, set those there. God, I already got. Now the big benefit or the big drawback with grease is it gets everywhere. All right, so now I'm going to put on my second pair of gloves. And what we're going to do now is pack the inside of this drum with grease. You probably get away with not doing this by hand, but I like to do it by hand. That way I know that I got a desired amount of grease inside of the drum. All right. Now, the space that I'm talking about is, see if you guys can see that, right in there, right in front of that bearing. You can see where the red grease is at inside the rear bearing. All right, you want to just kind of have that space where it's flush with just gobs of this grease. So you'll take your handful of this grease and just smear it in here. All right, it don't take very long. And what this grease does is while it's in there, it'll work its way around your axle and just kind of help feed those bearings as they heat up and as you drive down the road, which is a good thing. All right. And again, take your gloves off. You just went through another set. This stuff gets everywhere. All right. Just like I was saying, you can see that grease inside that drum. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to move this laptop and everything so you guys can see what I'm talking about down here. All right. We got our spindle. All right. You guys can see we got our brake assembly. This is a 7,000 or 8,000 pound brake assembly. And you'll see that the lever is on this side because this is a right hand. Which means that while the lever pulls to the rear. Yeah. If it was a left hand, it would go on the other side of the trailer. And what it is, you just stick it. Oh, you got to clean up the spindle first. All right. You see all this? This is old grease from the old drum and hub and everything. You just want to clean this off. Make sure you get all that old grease off. And since you want to kind of get all that water residue off of there as well, because you don't want water all inside your brakes and inside your hubs and everything. But it's not hard to put this stuff back together. I just got to figure out everybody moved my stuff around last night, so I know what to do. There we go. All right. Find out what to do with mine. All right, guys, we got our bolts, which these bolts ain't big. They're fairly tiny. They are a 9/16 socket. dirty, dirty, dirty. It's like I told you guys, you'll go through a lot of paper towels and a lot of gloves. Now for the stuff that I'm not screwing around with the grease, I got these just Hypertech gloves. That's just so I don't get everything just dirty as crap. Which this trailer is actually going to be for sale soon. If you guys are interested in hitting me up about that. Let's see here. It's not that I don't like it. It's a great trailer. It does a lot of good work. It's just that these trailers just don't make the money that they used to when I first started doing this. You know, because the weight caps at 10,000 pounds, and you know, you need to be able to do more than that nowadays to be competitive. But looks like we're going to get rained out. I was hoping that that we could get this on here before the rain come down. That's why I'm not going to wire these brakes up this just right yet, but I will show you guys how in case you want to. All right. I recently got a new impact wrench, which this thing's awesome. It's the Cobalt 24 volt max. It's like $175 with military discount at Lowe's. And she is a beast. You gotta be careful. Yeah. All right, so that's on there. Next thing we do, try to wipe out some of this water, which I'm most certain that the water will burn itself out, even if I don't do anything for it. You see how that's scraping it? That's how I like mine to sound. All right, so Jesus Christ, they didn't give me a washer or a nut. All right, so the bearing goes in next. There. All right, next is the washer. All right, got a washer, goes on outside. You got a kingpin nut that goes on. This right here should only be screwed about hand tight. Just hand tight, guys. Because the tighter you put this on, the more pressure it's going to put on the drum, and it's going to cause friction. All right, so then you got this pin right here, the cotter pin. That's actually what keeps the kingpin nut on there. Lock it down there, it goes through, it's good. Next, you put the grease cap on. Take a little bit of grease in your fingers, rub it around the inside of the grease cap. Just like that. You might want to do more if you actually had to. Where's my hat? All right, tap that on. Make sure it's nice and flush. flush all the way around. And you got this little rubber piece goes right here, seal up the hole. Trying to do this left-handed. All right, there we go. We just put a brake assembly and a new hub assembly on a 7,000-pound axle. Get my glove off so I can wipe my hand. Which there's two wires that come out of the back of the hub assembly or the brake assembly that allows you to wire up the brakes, the electric brakes, which is not hard to do. So I'm glad you guys could come out and watch my video today. If you need any assistance, leave me a comment below, and hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast.